Kelleher, you have...
Young Corla, just to say at the outset, I welcome the opportunity to speak on this particular bill and to put a few points that I passionately believe need to be discussed broadly, both in this chamber and I think across the international community. The bill itself does not reference Israel, it doesn't reference Palestine, but in the context of illegal occupied territories, it is obviously the one of the highest profile and the one of most significance on our globe. And having seen firsthand, Minister, the impact that the occupation is having on Palestine as a state and on the quality of life for Palestinians, it is very difficult for us to continue to pretend that we're sending out condemnation through the UN and through the international community, yet nothing being done to advance the cause in terms of promoting the two-state solution. And there is no point in us saying, Minister, if we continue to prevaricate as an international community, if we continue to deny the fact that the Palestinians are living in an open prison, if we continue to deny that, by time good minds come together, the Palestinian state will no longer exist. It will no longer exist, Minister. So time is of the essence. There is huge pressure on the Palestinian people, both in the West Bank, which I visited, and I believe in the Gaza Strip from members of this House who also visited and relayed their testimony. So it is incumbent on us all to try and keep this very much to the fore. UN resolutions are all very fine, but if we continually allow a state to ignore international law and to flout international law by illegal occupations, well then international community doesn't stand for a lot in terms of just condemnation alone. So I would urge people, when they talk about this bill, when they look at it, it is sending out a message from a small nation, be it that we are, but I think it's a powerful message. And from a country that has a history of huge difficulties and political turmoil, we know full well that eventually dialogue and discussion will have to take place. And talking to people on equal footing is the only way that we will bring about a lasting peace in the Middle East. And Minister, I'm not naive enough to believe that it is easy to do. This is probably one of the most protracted difficulties over many, many centuries, not in the context of Israeli versus Arab, but Christian versus Arab. And for many, many years, this has been a fault line between religions and civilizations and ways of life and how we view the world. But at this stage, Minister, as a small nation ourselves, I believe we owe it to the people of Palestine and other occupied areas that international law must be supported and must be upheld. Otherwise, we stand for nothing as a parliament, as a people and as an international community. And just finally, Minister, we are aware that there is proposals on the table from the United States in terms of a Middle East peace process. There's been many initiatives, but the initiative that was most supported and put forward by this state initially is the two-state solution. And I am firmly of the belief that if we delay and prevaricate, the two-state solution will cease to be a means to an end, because the second state, the one of Palestine, will no longer exist. It is now at a crisis point, and humanitarian issues are to the fore in terms of water, refuse, the breakdown of social order and many other issues. And spitefulness, Minister, is something that I've seen as well in terms of the cutting of funding to UNRWA and others, where basically they were providing educational facilities for Palestinian children. So please, Minister, use your good office. I know you're a champion of the Palestinian people, but I urge you to support this bill, send out a strong message from a small nation that we are expressing solidarity with the people that are oppressed, and support this bill and allow it to frame the discussions across the European Union and elsewhere in the context of the occupied territories.